Black Rifle Coffee. What is going on, everybody? Happy 4th of July, and I hope everybody's being safe and responsible out there. But thanks for tuning in for another video. Today we're going to be cleaning the AR-15, or in my case, the AR pistol. Same. Now, it's not the dirtiest right now, but I still want to show you guys how to clean it. But first, you guys already know, America! Eject the mag, make sure there's no rounds. Lock your bolt back. Visually and physically check that there's no round in the chamber. Rack your bolt forward, point in a safe direction, and click. So we're pretty much going to be using the same cleaning materials as last time, with the exception of a cleaning rod. But let's get it out. And that's about it. So I don't have a sled. I've always cleaned my AR without one. And I like to start by taking the upper and the lower apart. Put the lower aside for now. Take your bolt carrier group, your charging handle out. And the first thing I like to do is kind of work on the barrel or the bore. So I'll take my rod, get my bore brush, this fancy looking guy right here. So this is the exact same cleaning solution that I use for my handguns. This is CLP, which stands for Cleaner, Lubricant, Preservative. I just had to get a new bottle after my handgun cleaning video. So you just drop some CLP on this guy. And you brush away. Next, I'll grab the barrel brush, put that guy on there. And same thing, get some CLP on it. And we're just going in a couple times. Maybe even just a couple extra drops just to make sure everything's all saturated. All right. Next, we'll move on to the bolt carrier group. And the first thing you're going to want to do is take out this little retaining pin. then your firing pin should fall right out. Alright, hella dirty. Next is you're going to want to rotate this guy right here straight and take him out, and out comes your bolt. Then lastly, it's not necessary, but you could take out your extractor and you could actually use your firing pin to push that guy right out. And your extractor should come right out. Then I just take my wire brush and some CLP and start brushing down the bolt itself. So this guy right here, and then you want to make sure you get the tail end. That's really important as well. Then you get your rag and you just wipe it down. And then for the extractor itself, you just want to make sure that it still has a nice sharp lip on it. Not sure if you could catch that right there. You could even use the bore brush. Throw some more CLP on there. So you can get like the hard to reach places. And also make sure that seal and spring on the other side of the extractor doesn't come off. Again, wipe everything down pretty good. Then I'm just putting everything back together. But because this is YouTube, I'm not allowed to show you how to do that. Just kind of reverse the order of what I just told you to do. And I'm kind of like in between minimalist lubrication and just dousing the sumbitch. But on your bolt, there's only really 2 or 3 places you need to lube up. One is your gas rings right here. 2 is this raised silver part right here. And then a little bit here on the tail end. So boom, boom, boom. And that's it really. Moving on to the bolt carrier. Just pressure down to help remove some of the carbon on the inside and outside. Before we start really cleaning. Wipe her down a bit. And then on this guy, you just want to wipe him down. I'm probably going to have to replace mine soon. I've had this rifle for like 7 years, and the only part that I really replaced was the gas rings. I mean, there's not crazy wear on this thing. Then I move on to the firing pin itself. You want to make sure that there's not too much wear on that as well. And again, my gun wasn't that dirty, but I just wanted to go over it with you guys anyway. So once you put everything back together again, the only lubing that your bolt carrier group needs on the outside and inside really are Again, just like in the handgun video, the high wear areas. So you get some here on the bottom. And then on the rails on the two sides here. So boom, boom, boom. Here on the bottom, 1, 2. And that's it. Then you also have these 3 holes on the right side. Just put a couple drops in there as well. So as you can see, it's pretty saturated. But it's not like crazy dripping with oil. And then also a cool way to test if your gas rings are still good is to pull your bolt all the way out, flip it upside down, and it should hold the weight of the bolt carrier group itself. If it falls down like this, then you need to change out your gas rings. And I was actually having some malfunctions not too long ago, and I learned that little trick from YouTube. Purchased the gas rings for like pennies on the dollar, and it fixed my problem. Just give your hands a little wipe down. Let's go to the upper. The barrel should be nice and saturated by now. We're just brushing the inside of here. And wipe it. Putting that brush back on the rod. Grabbing some of these. Pushing her through. Again, you could just make like a fake little bullet. Drop her in and push her through. Probably just one more time. And we should be good. And lastly, the charging handle. I mean, you get some carbon buildup, but nothing too crazy. Just get a little CLP. And I just put like a real light coat. It's not necessarily a high wear area. And lastly, for the lower, I never do any really crazy cleaning. It's more of a wipe down. Take the buffer tube and spring out. Then give these a little wipe down. put a little CLP on the spring itself, because that's what's going to be rubbing on the inside of the buffer tube. Put your hands down a little bit. That's about it. You can clean into the buffer tube. I never really do. But to each his own. And then lastly, super thin coating of CLP on just the springs. So you take your safety off and guide the hammer forward while you pull the trigger. And just the drop or two. Then I'll wipe her down. Safety back on. Put it back together. She's good to go. So thanks for cleaning your gun with me today. Again, I personally love cleaning my guns, and I don't usually do it too often, maybe every 2 range trips. I definitely don't clean it after every time I shoot it, because it's a good rule of thumb to make sure that your gun works dirty. I mean, some people will go years without cleaning their firearm. Some people clean it every day. I don't know. Find out what works for you. But for the would you rather get any rifle that you want once a year with all the fixings, any scope you want, any brake you want, any trigger, any type of gun you want once a year, or never have to pay for ammo again, just free ammo, and you can't sell either? So any gun with any fixings once a year, or free ammo anytime you want. Let me know down in the comments. Make sure you wipe down your hands before tapping that like and subscribe button. And happy 4th of July again. So be safe, and don't forget, don't be a dick, be a blessing.